Hello, welcome back to another one of my lovely little videos where I yap about things that you may or may not care about, or you just want some background noise, so you flicked this on. Now, last time, I don't know if any of you listened to it or if this is your first time, welcome, lovely to have you, and welcome back if you are listening for third, second time. And you know what? If it's your first, thank you, I appreciate your confidence in listening this far, 30 seconds in. You are a real hero. You are my hero. Alright, so last time I mentioned that I would have dot points and I would have a more fluent and fluid track. I don't have dot points, so we're going balls to the wall, random shit again. This time, though, I want to be a little bit more positive and actually talk about things that I enjoy. Because last time I did kind of do that, but only like for the last like 5 or so minutes. So not really anything worthwhile. Well, I say not worthwhile, but not really like, yeah, I can't really say it was like a happy positive one. It was more of like, I complained for about 50 minutes, and then I was happy for about 5 of those minutes. So yeah, you know what, we're going to start off with some nice positive stuff to talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about is Girls Frontline 2, right? Again, we're bringing it back to the gacha games, but we're starting off with it. And so they had the first anniversary update come out a few days ago now. And on the day, it would have been the day after the banners for Lever and Lena had gone up, I went to go do my pulls for them. Now, unfortunately, I lost my first 50-50 in like a hot minute, because I had been pulling the banner character after banner character, getting lucky, and oh, it was great. I loved it. I got about 7 banner characters deep without losing the 50-50, so of course, by the time my 2 favorite characters come along, I'm bound to lose that 50-50. But that's alright, because with the new event up, and there's like 2 separate ways to obtain the resources you need to pull, and there's also just a bunch of stuff that they're giving away. On top of that, with the crew deck, I managed to get all the way back up to be able to do more pulls, and I actually managed to get it to a point where I was only needing, I think it was 20 or 30 pulls left to get my guaranteed character. So I was with my friend at the time, Lars. You would know him if you're familiar with the channel. He's been on a lot of my videos. So basically, I look at the little battle pass that Girls Frontline 2 has. There's 2 of them at the moment. And with Lars there, he jokingly said, "Oh, you should buy it." I'm like, I would never do that. I would never in 1,100,000 ever years do that while purchasing it. So I bought it, and I got my my what do you call them? My fragments. My blue crystal. Oh, that sounds bad, actually. Not my blue crystal. Fuck. The collapse crystals, that's what they're called. And I got my collapse crystals. And with that, it allowed me to then do another 10 pull. And of course, I got lucky. And I didn't have to pull again after that. So it was either at 30 or 20, so I wouldn't really call myself lucky. So 20 was pretty much a guarantee, and 30 is like, oh, you might get it. And if you get down to the last 10 and you still need to pull, that's abysmal. Anyway, so after that, because whenever you pull a new character, and it's what do you call it? S rank. You know what? SSR? Yellow. I'm just going to fucking say 5-star. When you pull your 5-star character in GFL, you always get, I think it is around 60 to 72 little Doritos, if I'm not mistaken. And then you can just buy more, like, resources to pull. So I used those to grab more pull tickets. And with those tickets, I used 1. And I managed to get Lever. I'm like, okay. But obviously I didn't know that in the moment, because in the moment you just see the gold and you're like, oh god, am I going to lose a 50-50? I mean, to be fair, if I lost a 50-50 in 1 pull immediately after getting another character, that's not bad, because at least then it's guaranteed I'd get it. But I won the 50-50. So I got Lena and Lever in one fucking night, and that's pretty heat. That was exciting. That was amazing. I loved that. That was great. That was the most exciting moment of my entire gacha career. Like, I say career like I earn money from it. I don't. I don't get fucking anything from it. But it was heat. It was hype. That shit was like genuinely the best fucking feeling of my entire life. Like, the words cannot describe how exciting that was. That was like the most, oh my god, finally, gacha games giving back to me. Holy fuck, it's an impossible thing to imagine. But it happened. It happened and it was good. It made me happy and I liked it. So, yeah, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then obviously I leveled them. And then I thought, well, you got the weapon banner that you need to pull on as well. And because I wanted to make sure I actually get weapons for the Lena and Lever, because I'm sure it's fine if you have, like, blue UMPs fucking maxed out. But honestly, not my preference, because I actually like having at least a purple. And then through the purple, I can just use that on them, and I don't give a fuck, because it's still the weapon that they need. But I had about 15 pulls to get the banner weapon, just because I had gotten it down. I very rarely pull on the weapon banners, because I usually I get lucky and I get the purple, whilst pulling for the actual character. So, I'll only ever pull on the weapon banner if I'm desperate, and I didn't get the weapon. But this time I didn't get the weapon, so I thought, you know what, while I still have some left, I'll just do a pull. So I pulled on Lena's weapon, and you know what, I think it was, if it wasn't the first one, it was the second one. I got it, and I went, oh, fantastic, there you go. So now I have a fantastic little build for Lena. What's not to love? Happy days. And yeah, no, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Liked that one quite a lot. So, no, I've also enjoyed the event. I haven't read the story, but I honestly, at this point, I'm still skipping through all of it. For event-wise stuff specifically, then I'll go back and read it later. The reason I skipped through it is because I just really wanted the rewards, so I can just get that over with, and then I don't have to worry about getting the rewards. I can just go through at my own pace, and then carry on my way. So that was pretty good. And the crew deck? I actually really like the crew deck. I think it's a nice change. Obviously, not a fan of the fact that we have a skin gacha. At the moment, it seems like it's okay, but that is literally, quite frankly, only because they are giving out free tickets to pull on it. So far, I've gotten lucky, and I've gotten the Andoris skin, which is cool. I like that, but obviously, I still need to pull 70 more times to guarantee the actual, Klukai skin. Which, well, I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, considering I think they're not really giving away these things, a lot. I believe 35 was what they're giving away for the event. They might do a little bit more than that I'm unaware of, but as far as I can recall, 35. Oh, blimey. My apologies. I've been holding that one back for however long I've been talking. But yeah, no. So, crew deck's very cool. I like walking around in it. I think it's pretty nice to be able to have the opportunity to walk around in a third-person view in the game and see your T-dolls. I like that. I think it's a pretty neat addition. Have them all in one spot, being able to interact with them. I do think that there's a few things here or there that it's just kind of like, yeah, that's cool, but bit inconvenient, like moving the dispatch thing and all that. I mean, you can find that still in the main menu, but I would have preferred it kept the public space thing on the actual list of things instead of replacing your crew deck, but that's fine. That's fine. This is just something I'm going to have to learn. But on top of that, I think it's still a really neat addition to the game, because it makes it a little bit more interesting than the dorms you had in Goals Frontline 1, which were fine. But I think being able to have a large selection of your characters in one room, or one interactive room that you can walk around, is a little bit more interesting, and I like that. So that is heat. what they've also added that I'm a massive fan of is, and this is going to be really stupid, but they've added an ASMR feature to the game. So far, they only have Groza as the character you can and have the ASMR session with. It just feels so silly saying this out loud. But it is genuinely kind of good. I'm not even going to lie. I sat there and I listened to the 15-minute long option, because there's several options you can go for, like 15 minutes, half an hour, 60 minutes, and I think 120 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And it's got fire crackling, right? It's got rain, and it's got thunder. And then it's got like some occasional other noises that happen throughout it. And you know what? I'm not going to lie, that shit is actually heat. I'm a big fan of the noise of the weather, like rain and fire. Fire crackling, rain, and thunder. Those are very nice. See, and here's my thing, right? When it comes to ASMR, usually I'm a big fan of hoovers and hair dryers for some reason. I say for some reason, I know the exact reason why. It's because when I was young, my parents would put them on to put me to sleep. And that has carried through. So I'm 23, almost 24, going to bed, sometimes listening to hoovers or hair dryers to fall asleep. That's impressive, I think. But no, having the ASMR feature in Girls Frontline 2, actually goddamn heat. I fuck with that heavy. It's such like a almost unnecessary feature and silly that it's like, okay, it's interesting, but fuck it, I'll take it. I'll take it happily. Because once it finishes, there's also an option for you to have the game closed. So imagine you're just laying there on your bed, or like in the chair. You've fallen asleep to the ASMR from Girls Frontline. You wake up, like who knows when. The game's closed itself because you set that as an option. So you then don't have to worry about your game running over time. Mind you, that's like, honestly, I kind of fuck with it, because as someone who doesn't want to rack up hours when I'm not actively doing something on the game, because I like to see what I've done with my time on the game accurately, that is a great option. Yeah, I'm going to count me falling asleep to the game as actual game time. I'm participating actively in the events. It's so stupid, but yeah. Anyway, I like it. It's good. Gotta say, almost 13 minutes of being positive is a hard task to have accomplished for someone who hails from Britain, the England, if you will. Mind you, I left the country when I was 5, so I think I got off lightly. I'll say that. I got off lightly. But what else? What else can I talk about that's been pretty good, other than Girls Frontline Gacha giving me good luck for once? You know? What else? What have I been doing? Still not a lot. Still like the same old shit where I kind of just stare at my monitor until something happens, or I do something, or I go to bed. But I don't know. Let's have a look. Let me rack my brain for a moment. Well, I mean, actually, you know what? As of this video, it's December. That's nice. We're coming into we've been in Christmas mode for like the last, month, realistically, in this country, because, well, even before that, right? Halloween hadn't even happened, and they were putting up Christmas music, decorations and playing music. And so you go through the entirety of October, and then you've got November, and then you've got December, and it's in full swing. And you're like, okay, well, I mean, it's kind of nice. See, the thing I like about Christmas is the lights. I'm a big fan of lights and stuff like that in general. So driving around, whenever I see someone has put like a bunch of lights up for Christmas for their house, that shit actually makes me happy. I'm like, oh, that's good. I love that. My street, barely anybody does it. There's like maybe 2 or 3, and they've put in a phenomenal amount of effort. It's nice to drive past it and see, because it's like, oh, man, that's nice. I like that. That makes me happy. And it's good. And along with the Christmas holidays coming, means that I get time off work as well. And I like having time off work, because that means I get time to sit down in front of my computer and stare at my monitor and go, oh man, I wonder what I'm doing today. And then I'll probably just watch a lot of YouTube or Twitch, or mayhaps I'll launch Uma Musume because I'm still playing that. Oh, we're actually close to getting Manhattan Cafe as well. That's going to be exciting. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to that. I hope I get lucky on that. If I don't get Manhattan Cafe, I will spend money. I'm not even going to lie to you. I will spend money on Uma Musume just to guarantee my Manhattan Cafe. There is nothing stopping me. Not a thing. But yeah, what else has happened? I got my Spotify Wrapped. And the Twitch recap too. So Twitch recap was interesting. Not as bad as last year. And I mean my viewing hours. I went down from 2,900 to 2,230, I think. So I think I've reformed and I'm allowed to enter into society again. And I had, I'm just going off the top of my head, it was close to 800 hours watched of Sea Dog. And then I had about 530 on Premier 2 Peter. And number 3, I think, was Onigiri or Michimo Chibi. 3 or 4 was between those two. And those both were at about 160 to 150 hours. And then 4th was Numi with about 114 hours off the top of my head. I could just look, but honestly, can't be asked. And honestly, still over 2,000 hours. Pretty impressive. And here's the thing. I would love Numi to be higher, but I think, unfortunately for me, okay, so I want to preface this actually, because without context it makes no sense. Sea Dog is my favorite sort of content creator, next to Premier 2 Peter, right? My favorite VTuber, however, is Numi. The issue there is that she is live usually when I'm at work or before I've woken up. So I'm happy that I've gotten her onto my top 5 because that's nice. She deserves to be there. She deserves to be a little bit higher. If I had more time, she would be. But no, it's great. It's nice that she's made it onto my list because her emotes absolutely do, especially her heart one. That one I think has been pretty consistently the last 2 years in there. And that's pretty heat. But yeah. What else? Spotify Wrapped. Funnily enough, my number 1 artist was Numi. I was in the top 0.1%. I was the 1,077th listener, biggest listener, or like fan, whatever it is. So it's like I'm in the top 1,000 of listeners. I think that's pretty cool. And there was all but one of her songs in my top 5, and it was actually just her friend who also makes music, Andrew, like Monkey Slippers. I think it was number 3 on my thing, and that's pretty cool. And then I had Bite It Off as my top song. Such a damn good song. Fucking love that. I'm surprised the other ones, I didn't have other ones in there, but to be fair, I listened to it, this is on the higher end of the spectrum of music listened to for me, for Spotify specifically, because I very rarely listen to music a lot, but this year I listened to 26,000 minutes, I think it was, which is higher for me, because usually I get around 16 to 15,000, because I don't really listen to music all that often, but if I do, it's usually to the people I like, because I'm a simple man, but it's good fun. I'll have to pull up the stats and show you a little. I say show you, I mean, I won't. Well, I suppose I could put pictures, yeah, but I won't. So I'll bring up the stats, and I will just read them out, actually, because that makes it a bit easier to do. So let me just get it open real quick. So to begin, let's have a quick little squiz. I'll show you I won't show you, sorry. I'll just read out my Twitch ones first, right? So 2,270, so put 2.27k hours watched of Twitch. 357 distinct days visited, right? And only 462 chats sent. And a lot of that would either be emote spamming or just a little bit of other shit here and there, right? So let's look at my top channels. As I said earlier, Sea Dog at 791 hours Premier 2 Peter at 592, Michi Mochivi at 148, Onigiri at 136, and then Numi at 114. Pretty good mix, if you ask me. Now, my top categories confuse me, only because of one thing that's there that I feel like it shouldn't be, but it is. So I was in the top 10% for Just Chatting, Food and Drink, IRL, League of Legends, and Uma Musume. The only outlier there is League of Legends. I don't know why that's there. I'm going to be so real and honest, I don't know why. I don't feel it should be, but then again, Sea-Dog Connor did do a League Week stream, but even then, I barely watched that. I don't believe I watched enough League to even consider that a top 10% fucking thing. So that's perplexing. Because what the fuck is what I'm trying to say, basically. Because what the actual fuck. But yeah, that's that one. And honestly, I'm trying to think, because I also watch Vienna, but I don't think Vienna does not stream League all that often. So who knows? And now, let's move over to Spotify. So, my top 5 artists are Numi, Utto, Maury Calliope, and I will hear no Maury Calliope slander in this house. If in this day and age you still slander Maury Calliope's music, you are a fool of a behemoth size. You might not like her original music. You know, that's fine. It's not for everyone. I like it, right? But her new stuff and a lot of her older stuff in the past few years are phenomenal. And you would be hard pressed to actually listen to it and go, "This is bad." They're all fucking amazing. I mean, even she hates her older stuff. I don't. Like I said, I actually like it because, from my perspective, it's like you're coming into a new industry-ish for English viewing audiences, and you're sort of carving a path, right? So from my perspective, when she was making the music, she had to be in character and try to keep it within the character that you had initially had her perceived as, right? Because that's just how it was kind of early on. And as she's sort of grown and time has gone on, it gave her the opportunity to expand beyond just being I'm the Maury Calliope Grim Reaper. Anyway, number 4 was the Atlas Sound Team, and then number 5 is Pinocchio P. I'm confused by Pinocchio P being there, I won't lie. I have a metric fuck ton of his songs in my playlist. Her song, it might be his or her, I honestly don't recall. But if I'm being entirely honest, I mostly skip it because so many of them come up because I have, I think their entire discography in there. So, Avenged Sevenfold could have been there, to be honest. That would have made more sense because I actually do listen to their stuff. But I don't know, it was confusing. Anyway, so my top 5 songs, number 1 was Bite It Off, as I mentioned, 2 was Scatterbrain, 3 was Inu, and 4 was Monkey Slippers, then 5 was Manic. So that's a Numi song with Andrew Holmes. Scatterbrain is a cover from Numi. Inu is a Numi song. Monkey Slippers is an Andrew Holmes song. And then Manic was Numi with Andrew Holmes again. That was pretty cool. My minutes listened were actually 25,340, and my top genre was city pop, which is cool. Number 1,000. I am number 1,077 top listener of Numi globally. And I spent 8,036 minutes listening to them. So I was top 0.1%. And I think that's pretty cool. Do I think I could have done more? Absolutely. With 25,000 minutes listened to, more of those could have been directed towards Numi, in my opinion, but that's fine. I just really like being able to listen to Numi whenever I can. It's pretty, I just like it. Makes me happy. But, yeah. I think what confused me, again, obviously, I don't know. They have the actual stats, so I could just. It might be recency stuff, right? Recency bias on my end, believing that I listen to something quite a lot. Because her 2 most recent albums, Kinda Not Really, and then Sun Always Sets, I felt like I listened to a lot of them, a lot, but then clearly not because they would have appeared if I had. But when I look at, say, for example, my Wrapped, let me just look at my top 25 songs, right? I played Bite It Off, oopsie daisy, 73 times, right? So I listened to Bite It Off 73 times this year. And then you go down one to my second most listened to song, that was 55 listens. And then you got Inu at 43, Monkey Slippers at 42, Manic 42, Heartbreak Hotel 42. So, oh my god, it could have been Heartbreak Hotel instead of Manic. Anyway, then you got Delulu at 40, and then Pandemonium Is My Candy, which is from Sun Never Sets, and that was 39. So it had almost made its way up. Had I listened to it like 4 more times, it would have been there. Then I've got Natalie Radio. These are all Numi songs, by the way, apart from Monkey Slippers so far. So, Pandemonium Is My Candy, 39 listens. Natalie Radio, 37 listens. Basilio, 35. Kiss Me Through the Phone, 34. Miss RGB, 34. Hutch, 34. Plants, 33. Bottom 2, 32. Berry Dreams, 31. Oh my god, my throat is getting dry. Terrifying Silence, 31. Darkest Hour, 31. Brain Rot, 31. Go Yet Baby, 31. You Matter to Me, 31. You Matter to Me is an Andrew Holmes on my fucking throat. Hold on. Oh, I need water. Blimey. Drink out of a Mori Calliope cup. Oh, blimey. Fuck. My apologies. Anyway, as I said, I did in the previous one, I don't edit these, so this is all just gonna be in there, very fun and awkward. And then Breaking News has 30, Dirty Thoughts has 30, Safe Space has 29, Rescue has 29, All Night Radio, Addo, with 29. Makes sense. I did listen to All Night Radio. Well, I really like All Night Radio. I love all of Addo's songs. Addo is just Petit Soufflé. Love that. I don't even know. Like, you know, I say that because of Team Fortress 2. I should probably actually figure out what it means before I just go around saying it, but we ball. We ball. And after All Night Radio, we've got Dance With Me, which is Numi. Summer's Guest, obviously Numi. Peaches, Robotic Love. Socks on Top, Neptune, Pizza in the Cosmos, In Love with an Anime Girl. Dumpster Cat, Superstar, Lovable Falls, Seeing Stars, which is Mori Calliope and Lotus Juice. Daisy, Kiss Me, VTuber, Loser. Love at Home, Sexy Drug, which is... I stopped listening to that. If you're inside or aware of VTuber drama in the last year, there's been a lot of it, right? There's another artist on that song that kind of fell out of grace for a while. I didn't really hold any grudges. I don't care. I just don't like. I'm not a fan. Simple as that. Spaced Out, Nostalgic Sunshine, Wish I Said Favorite, Diamond Girlfriend, which is Iris, One More Chance, which is Block Party, 24 listens. Brought the Heat Back, Born Slippy, which is not Numi. Moon Girl, Don't Know Yet, Are You Okay? Sour Worms, Hell of a Good Time, Cabbage Magic, Hanya, Burdened by the George, Better Than Cantaloupe, Heartburn, Color Your Night, which is Persona, Rule, which is Addo. Rule is a phenomenal fucking song. I saw someone's tier list recently of Addo songs. It was the worst fucking tier list I've seen in my entire life. All of her amazing songs are somehow beneath fucking covers. Now, how are you going to have an entire page dedicated to Addo, or like an artist that you really like, but you put their cover songs up top? It's insane to me. And then you put like amazing songs like Rule, Low. What's wrong with you? What is actually, you're insane. Like, what are you doing at this point? Are you actually sure you like this person's music? What the fuck? They're all like, man, this is okay. What do you mean, man, this is okay? But then don't get me wrong. I love Ice Day, right? Addo's Ice Day cover is phenomenal. It's beautiful. I was hyped as fuck when I heard it live. But you cannot tell me that you believe genuinely that her own original song is not as good as a cover. I don't know, maybe that's just a weird thing that I have where I feel like I respect the artist's actual original work and think it should be recognized more than the covers. I think the covers are phenomenal. I love the covers, but I wish the artist's original work got more. Anyway. Sorry, I'll continue. Then I got Waited Out, 21 listens, and then Ready Made, 20. Sweet Boy Gallagher. Ready Made is an Addo song, by the way. If I don't say otherwise, it's Numi. Then you got Sweet Boy Gallagher, L Sisters, Extension, Crowd Pleaser, Shamrock, Frantic Seasons, Wilting Leathers, Call Me Maybe, Willow Shrimp, Bunai, Good Luck Babe by Narissa Ravencroft, which is, funnily enough, even though I was just like cover, it's a cover. It's Narissa's cover. Puppy Love, Eat What Toad I Dorm, which is, Persona, so Lotus Juice. Rich in Love, Wooloo, Silver Bullet, which is Casey Edwards, which is obviously from Devil May Cry. Full Moon, Full Life, that's Persona 3. Absolute Territory, Ken Ashcorp, Sandwiches, Usewa, which is Otto, No Good, Natalie, Feeling Dandy, Egg Drop, Bugbears, Changing Seasons is Persona 3 again, Odo, which is Otto, Midnight Maoi, which is Mori Calliope, Lost Cause, Magazines, which is Aloha with Nia Suzune, hopefully I said that right. That's a great fucking song too, actually, not gonna lie. I love that one. Mirror, Otto, and then Comfort You. And that has 17 listens. So a lot of those last ones there, from Odo down to Comfort You, 17 listens. But yeah, those are my top 2025 songs. Again, like I don't usually share this shit. I don't give a I see other people's ones and I'm like, that's interesting. I'm not going to share mine though, because I don't want you guys to know how much of a fucking loser I am. So I'm going to keep this to myself. But I'm going to share how much of a loser I am with you guys, because that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that was the Spotify and Twitch. We'll just say Wrapped, because it really is all that it is. I haven't got my YouTube one yet. Still waiting for that one to come through. So, not that it'll be very interesting. But yeah. I mean, if I just click premium benefits, I can just see that apparently I've had 520 hours of ad-free videos. Now, I don't know if that's like I've avoided 520 hours of ads, or I've watched 520 hours of videos this year without ads. Again, I don't know. I'll find out when I finally get the fucking YouTube Wrapped, or whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Honestly, I wish I had written down some dot points, like I said I would. Because off the top of my head right now, I can't really think of a lot of things to talk about, which is funny. You'd think there'd be a lot more exciting things I can talk about when it comes to being positive. You know what? I think half an hour is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, I think it's pretty good. I think I've done a pretty damn good job. I will have to actually put dot points down from here onwards, just so I can actually continuously talk about things, rather than sitting there and going, what do I talk about? I don't know. But yeah, honestly, I imagine I'll do one or two more of these before the year ends. So I'm going to keep doing these as well, just because it's fun. It's a fun little outlet for me to talk about things. But yeah, I imagine I'll probably do one where I talk about some New Year's stuff. Maybe I'll do a little Christmas one too, but we'll see. Anyway, shorter than the last one I did, longer than the first one, but hey, thank you very much. Oh, it might not be. Hold on. Let me fact check that. Real quick. Yeah, I'm curious. Is this longer than my first one I did of this? Probably. I think the first one was like 26, wasn't it? No, it's 29 minutes, 32 seconds. And then, yeah, the last one I did was an hour. All right, yeah, no, that's pretty good. All right, so it's longer than the first one, shorter than the second one, but that's all right. I think not everyone... This is not going to be consistent. It's always going to fluctuate between how long it is and how short it is. So we ball. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your time, your generous, fuck. Your generosity. You know what? I don't care. It's over. It's done. You were meant to be gone like now. Bye.